Hi there. My name is Nicolo Prentice, and you're listening to Mama's Lullaby podcast, where we celebrate you and your journey to and through motherhood, the good, the hard, and the scary, giving you a place to be nurtured and mothered. You deserve it. Welcome. Hey guys, it's Michelle. Please hit that like button and be sure to subscribe so we can keep you up to date on all the latest podcasts. Hello and welcome to Mama's Lullaby podcast. I'm Nicolo Prentice and welcome to my kitchen. This beautiful woman to my left is Erica Hurley, and I'm so excited to talk with her today. First of all, this is the first time you're tuning into Mama's Lullaby, we have some really big goals here at Mama's Lullaby. One is to celebrate you and your journey on your motherhood journey. However you came to be a mom, however you've experienced motherhood, we want to celebrate you and want you to know that you are important and your journey is important to us. And secondly, we want to nurture you in some way. We want to put our arms around you somehow and be of service, however that might show up for you. And I'm trying to bring wonderful people on this podcast that might be helpful in some way to someone out there. And today is no exception. Erica has a very special gift that she is putting out into the world for moms and women. And she has her own very intense story to tell us today about motherhood. And I'm very, very grateful for you to be on the show today. Tell us, so Erica does a very specific process for women who have lost babies, miscarriage. You've had an experience with that yourself. Can you tell us a little bit about your experience with losing babies? And
yeah, thank you so much for having me. I'm so happy to be here. Yeah, thank you. So I'm a mom of 5 babies I never got to raise. That means that I've experienced baby loss 5 times. Also attempted IVF. I tried to do an egg retrieval. That was not successful. So went through that as well. A lot of anger, sadness, isolation, grief, pain. And at the same time, I've been able to hold joy and love and abundance and hope and create a fulfilling life for myself with a lot of beauty, even though I went through this 5-year journey and did not end up with a physical baby in my arms. And I am still on this path of motherhood, but also at the same time accepting that I'm child-free, not by choice. So my mission and the mission of what I've birthed as a business is to help women feel seen on this path of whether it's prolonged conception, whether it's IVF, in the thick of it, 1 or more baby losses, or coping with being child-free, not by choice, after years of infertility or years of being on the mother path and not getting the prize baby at the end, but also being there for the women that are still on the path, still trying to be a mom and birth their child. And also to some other future ways I want to support my community is adoption loss, as well as men and women and couples, and working with couples, because it takes such a toll. It can take such a toll on the relationship with your partner. And also to the women and to the individuals out there who maybe just haven't found their partner yet, and they desire so deeply to be a mom, but they just haven't found that person yet. So maybe they're going through IVF all by themselves and having to do the injections all alone. And that itself is such an emotional roller coaster that you're not prepared for until you do it.
They don't prepare you for that when you go in for that, do they? It's just mostly the medical stuff. It's not like, how are you going to deal with the emotional components of this? And
So I want to support women, and this is an LGBTQ plus I plus affirming safe space. So any birthing person or any person that needs support on this journey, like, I'm here for you, and you're here to be witnessed. And I do believe that, like, grief is meant to be witnessed by a village, and we are meant to be held and seen. And what ends up happening is, because this can be such a taboo, hush hush, you know, don't tell anyone you're pregnant until you get to that safe point, because we don't really as a society know how to navigate grief or support our loved ones. And that is why it becomes so isolating, because we don't talk about it enough.
Yeah, and that's a very good point, is it's really hard to know what to say to somebody.
Yeah.
We had a podcast where I had my best friend here, Holly, who lost her little girl when she was 3 years old. And, you know, for no reason, nobody knows why she passed in the night. But it's like, you just don't know what to say, and you want to do something, you want to help in some way. So, but in talking to you, when we first talked on the phone, we were talking about how you deal with this grief, this sadness, how there's no funeral, there's no, you sort of, you know, you have the miscarriage, and then you go to the doctor and they clean you up internally, and then they send you off, and it's like, okay, well, good luck. You know, it's like there's no support. You're talking about, how do I fill that space of the support I could have used after all of that, and how do I honor this baby and honor myself, right? Yeah, so it's really beautiful what you're doing. Tell us a little more about sort of, how did you come to this, like in your journey? How did you help yourself, and what kind of turned you into this idea?
Yeah, thank you for bringing that up, because it's important. And what gets left out of it is how physical this, I mean, it is a birth when you have a miscarriage, or you do lose your baby, if we're going to talk about specifically baby loss. It is a birth, and you need just as much support as a woman who's giving birth to a healthy child that makes it to term. So I think and I think to your point too about people not knowing what to say, even the most well-intentioned, coming from a place of love commentary is so painful. And so I think, like,
can you give us some examples of things that people would say that's not helpful, and then maybe things that people could say that would be helpful? Like,
have you considered adoption is probably the number one thing people say to people who are going through this. And it's like, anything that, like, have you tried XYZ? It's like, I have thought of everything before it just popped in your mind. Like, yes, we've considered these things. And the tricky thing about adoption is it's not for everyone. It's very expensive. And also too, not every partner is going to be on board for that. It's very nuanced. And as I'm sure you've covered on this podcast before, even going through adoption, you don't always end up with their child. So it's like, there's so much to that. And it also assumes incorrectly that the couple or the person hasn't already taken the action of even contacting an agency and already trying that.
Right, exactly.
So one thing I think that in my experience of receiving some of this stuff, and there's more, but I'm not going to harp on it, is like, hey, are you open to discussing some ideas? Like, are you in a space where, you know, I could offer some suggestions? Like, see if that's even a place where they want to go. Like, how are you feeling? Like, you know, are you open to talking about this with me? Because what ends up happening is, very quickly you learn some people just are not safe spaces. They can't hold you there. They can't lock you in the eye.
Can we talk about what that means to be a safe space, or holding space for somebody? Because to some people that's a term they never heard of.
A safe space.
Or holding space, right? Like, when somebody, for instance, many years ago, I had a breast scare, and I was laying in bed, and I felt what I thought was a lump, and I immediately killed myself, and I knew my children were going to be without a mother, and, you know, you just go down that path immediately, right? Plus my dad died of cancer, so, you know, that's a big one for us. And so my husband, he was so wonderful, because of course it was on the weekend, and you can't talk to anybody over the weekend, and I want to know right now, right? And he said to me, I'm just going to know that it's all good. It's okay. I'm going to know. I know you can't know it right now, but I am going to know it. And just having him hold that, that's kind of what I mean by holding space for somebody, holding a knowing that they can't hold right now because they're too emotionally enraptured in the fear or the pain or whatever it is, right? But just having somebody. But what would you say, and that was very helpful for me, but what would you say for you? Were there people that were able to do that for you, and how did they do that?
With time. So I think it's really important I think people who haven't lived this have the capacity to hold women or people who are going through this experience with integrity, but you have to educate yourself.
Right.
And it's about really just seeing the person and not trying to fix them.
Okay. Just letting them be in their
Letting
sadness.
them be. Yeah. And just like, hey, do you want a solution right now? Or do you want to just vent and me hold you and let me hold you and you just cry and you break down and you get to release that. Yeah. Versus like, for example, I have an example of when a really good friend of mine, I expressed anger. It was my first Mother's Day after like 2 back-to-back losses. And she had a really hard time holding me with that and just quickly changed the subject. So that is just...
Because it's uncomfortable.
It's
People are so uncomfortable with grief. It's really hard.
And there's so much to it. It's anger, it's sadness, it's sorrow, it's a full body experience. So what helped me before I found my tribe, before I found a group of women who have lived it or who could hold me and stay right here and not try to change anything, not try to, there's a lot of guilt that comes with this because you feel guilty for not being happy for your friend who just found out they're pregnant so easily. And so you feel guilty. And it's like, I'm holding just my own sadness that it's not me, but you definitely wouldn't wish this on it, your favorite person. So there's a lot of complicated emotions that you sometimes don't even know why you're experiencing. So what worked for me was I had just developed a tea practice. So this is like a quiet, very beautiful practice, drinking tea in silence and solitude. And it came into my life right after my first loss. So I got to really experience the grief in my body and just cry into my tea bowl. But I was alone. And so that's beautiful. But what I really wanted was like a Midsommar experience. I don't know if you've seen that movie where she's just grieving and crying and all the women are around her and they're grieving and crying and screaming with her. Like this is guttural.
Like everyone feels the loss.
This is a primal. It's almost like a primal, a lioness who loses her cub. And you want to just explode. And so if you can't, and I think what we've lost as a society is ritual and grief. And we are meant to be witnessed and we are meant to have conversations like this and we are meant to be held. And so creating ritual around loss, around this mother path that is so intense on so many levels, even if you're carrying to term and then you have the baby, then you're dealing with all the other scary stuff that comes after that. It doesn't have to be scary, but when you're held, you can definitely move through that in a much different way. And I'm getting off track, but
no, it's fine.
What I was trying to say is dance also. So I intuitively began when I was really in the depths of it. It was the darkest time of my life. I put on my favorite songs in the living room. And I was really having a hard time like functioning in life when I was really in the thick of this. And I just started dancing for hours. And I felt like I returned home to myself because I lost myself on this path to mother.
What made you think to dance?
It just
was a natural.
It just was like
thing. It was like I got to move my body.
It was wanting to be moved around, and then I felt myself again, and I felt my wholeness again. I was like, I'm whole, and the joy is still here, and I'm whole and complete, no matter what, baby or no baby. Title officially of mom or no mom, because you go through identity loss. You're not invited to things because you're not a mom. You're like, at least me, speaking from I was losing my identity. What am I now if I'm not going to be a mom? Like, what's my purpose? You start to like, I started to have, shame around like, why isn't my body doing what it's here to do?
This is natural. We're supposed to be able to do this.
So there's a lot of heavy. It's heavy. And and just to be clear, like not every woman or person is going to experience baby loss grief, infertility, and IVF grief the way I do.
Of course.
So in my work, it's about their process and about what's already within them to bring about this return to self. And some people may not be affected in the same way, but I know there are many women out there suffering alone and suffering in silence because we don't have the enough resources that involve movement, involve different ways to move through this grief and be held and seen. Talk therapy for me, it wasn't enough. And most of the time it was through a practitioner who had never experienced this. And it is one of these kind of things, like, you got to understand some level of grief or some level of loss to really get it.
You can imagine, but you can't really know, just like anything, until you actually go through it. Like, you can imagine what it's like, but you just... How did you find these women?
Oh, okay, good question. That's what I was forgetting. Thank you. Thank you. So I was looking for tea community, and it brought me to, and I don't think anything's by chance or coincidence, and it brought me to, I mean, I get chills. It brought me to women who were like grief workers, who had, one in particular went through 3 rounds of IVF, 3 baby losses, and then now is accepting her life as a child-free woman. And she lost a relationship. I don't know if that was because of that, but
it's probably hard on the relationship.
It was hard,
too, right?
Yeah. And I'm telling you, it's been hard on mine. Like, I'm not perfect. We still, it's like, you gotta, that's a whole nother podcast episode.
Right, yeah, probably so. We'll have to do that one too.
But the women came into my life, and they were able to just it's this like, not shy away from these heavy, and just see me and not try to fix. And then also they've had lived experiences of it, so could just hold me in such a way that I felt witnessed. And then the baby loss ritual part of it, that creating ritual around grief and loss, and really honoring your womb, honoring your body, honoring yourself as a human being, and your baby, whether they're in the spirit realm still, whether it's you've never been pregnant before, there's still a baby circling you because you have the desire to be a parent. And so honoring them and you, and that I've just found women that, like one in particular, she had been divorced, and she was my age, and I'm approaching 40, and she knew she just really wants to be a mom, and just her didn't even have a partner yet again, but like this unwavering, just like solid core of like, I'm whole no matter what. Witnessing that in her helped me see it in me. So it's like, you get witnessed, and it also helps you witness yourself. So that when these crazy emotions, I'm not saying none of this still happens.
Sure.
Someone falls pregnant, it still stings. Sure. I see an ultrasound on TV, it still stings. But I can see myself and say, hey, that's okay. Right. It stings. Yeah. Let's sit with that for a little bit. And it's okay that it stings. Yeah. And taking a beat,
learning how to deal in the moment of the emotion.
Yeah. And maybe turn on a song and dance it out, because I'm telling you, even like in this moment, because the stuff is so and it is like, it's just, you just want to move it out.
Can you show us something, if someone out there is dealing with a lot of grief, maybe they just lost their baby, maybe they're experiencing this, is there like a movement that, I know it's we're at this table, but is there something that you could show us that we could do?
Well, in traditional Chinese medicine, it is known that grief is in the lungs. It can reside in the lungs and can get stagnant there. So a really beautiful movement practice that I go to often, especially when I'm feeling the grief is there and acknowledging that the grief is there, is crossing my arms like this, and then expanding and opening my heart.
Oh gosh, my whole back cracked. Does that happen too?
Sometimes.
Okay. And an adjustment.
Right. Okay. And then closing in, just holding that mother, that womb, that child, and then opening. And as many times as you need it.
Wow.
Yeah. So
that feels really good.
It even feels good for me, just
I think we're so
over we're over computers all day, we need to like, open. But shaking practice as well. A mentor of mine, when I was really in it, the first few years, shared just this shaking practice.
Yes, I do like Qigong. And, I do that in Qigong a lot.
Yeah.
Why does it help?
It helps so much. And I just think too, just dancing with wild abandon, like just throwing.
No one's watching you.
Yeah. And even recording yourself if it feels good. You know, sometimes it's like there's this like witness aspect.
Okay.
Or like with a bunch of your favorite girls that you feel really safe with, having just like a dance party and then like each one goes and the other one goes. And there's something really magical about sisterhood and dance and not to look any certain way, you know, just freedom of expression. So a lot of the healing that I'm inspiring from within you already, because it's all, we all can access it, is this freedom of expression through how we use our voice. If we want to just, like in a session, you just want to scream it out into a pillow or into the forest. And there was a woman I was working with, we did a baby loss ritual for her, and I could tell there was something stuck. And I said, do you want to scream right now? You can scream here. Nobody's here. And she was like, I can't. And then just like we worked through it. We did some slow movements and dance, and then she was able to release. And she's like, I've had that scream, that guttural scream stuck in there for like years. So there's a lot of beauty to it. And I'm still learning. I don't claim to be any expert. I know the lived experience of this, and I know what's worked for me, and I do feel the calling to share it and make sure that others who are on this path understand like it's already in. I'm just helping you tap into it. It's nothing I have. You have it. So I like to make that clear. I'm no baby loss guru. But I do feel that after being on this path for 5 years, and I had my 5th baby loss, and I lost a really good friend to cancer, and she gifted me my first book on grief. She gifted me Frances Weller's Wild Edge of Sorrow book. And then I ended up grieving her at the same time as I lost my 5th child. And it was just like, this is what I need to be doing right now. So it's pretty clear, and I can't run from it. And I did resist it for a really long time because I was like, nah, I'm going to get that baby. I don't have to do this. You know? And it's like, I know what I need to do. And maybe baby or no baby, I'm whole and complete as a human being, no matter freaking what. And it's taken a long time for me to really believe that.
Well, you know, I don't know if it's, who said this, might be Buddha, but suffering is just not wanting what is. And when we can accept what is, then the suffering goes away. Hardest pill to swallow.
The chalkiest, edgiest, like I agree. Stuck in my throat pill to swallow, but
I agree.
But I'm getting chills because I have accepted I am a mother. I'm a mother to 5 babies, but I'm currently on this physical realm, child-free. And if I could do anything differently, and trust me, I've tried it all, I would. But I also have a beautiful life and a beautiful future, and I'm really excited about it.
And you're kind of mothering mothers, which is what Mama's Lullaby is all about. It's like mothering. We need nurturing too, and we need to nurture each other, and we need to, like I always say, women can be your best friends or your worst enemies, and I say let's be best friends, right? Because we're all just, you know, have this thing inside of us that I think sometimes we just don't think we're worthy enough to ask for help, support, or we're afraid to, or we're afraid of what might happen on the other end of that. And we do need people we feel safe with. And and one of the ways we start that, I think, is by being a person someone can be safe with, right? And I do meet a lot of young women, and it's not all young women. I mean, just new first-time moms, because not everybody's young when they have their first baby anymore. People are waiting into their 40s. I have a gal in here, she had her first baby at 50, but it was her niece's egg. It wasn't hers, but it was her husband's sperm and her niece's. It's quite a great podcast, actually, amazing.
Wow.
But you know, it's like so much emotional stuff that goes into this, and while the people that are trying to help you do this, they're missing that part of the emotional support, and you really need that. And what you're doing for women who are struggling with this issue I don't think a lot of people, I really never thought much of it. I never did have a miscarriage. I thought I was having one with my last baby, and it scared me beyond
Scares
words.
the shit out of you.
It was the scariest thing I've ever, I was like,
It's awful.
and I was, I was really, really, really sick. It's called something when you're hyper sick. I can't remember what it's called, but it's called something. And I remember like while I was super sick in the beginning, I was like, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I can do this one. And then as soon as I thought I might lose, I was like, oh, I'm fine. I don't care if I'm nauseous for 9 months.
Yeah.
I don't care, but I never really thought much about, I've had friends that had miscarriages and we've like, oh, I'm so sorry. But I never thought about what is going on with them afterwards.
Yeah, and you made me think of something. You made me think of something. What? So the reason why this work is so important and why I want to offer it is like something so simple as to someone getting your period.
Yes.
Spiral. People can spiral. I have spiraled.
You mean once your period
when you're
starts,
really
you're
trying
like,
and you're like, what in the hell?
Yeah.
And it can send you. You're already hormonal,
right?
And it can send you down, or it sent me down this path of like a depression fog for a week. And I know it happens to others because I witnessed it in others.
Right.
And everyone's experience is unique, but being able to handle baby shower, baby announcements, your period coming, miscarriage, just any of these triggers that come up in daily life, being able to move through those in a way that maybe you don't sit in bed watching Harry Potter, eating ice cream for 5 days, which no judgment, that can be amazing, but you don't want to stay there too long.
Right.
Maybe you just do it 1 or 2 days, or maybe you have a movement practice, or you have a tea session, or you get to cry it out with me and dance in the forest. And maybe your nervous system doesn't even go there anymore.
Yeah.
So
you've kind of retrained the thought process or the brain a little bit to have a different experience when something comes up.
Yeah. I used to wallow and now I do not.
Yeah. That's beautiful.
But I'm not saying that things don't hurt.
Sure.
So it's this juxtaposition of holding it all.
Right.
I have the it's like my capacity, kind of like that movement.
Yeah.
It's like I do this and I can hold so much.
Okay.
Pain, joy, sorrow, grief, abundance, love, self-love, love for my sisters, like happiness and pain. Like it's like you can just, your capacity expands around and you become, it's almost like the grief never goes away, but I'm able to expand and live alongside it.
Right. Like that's what my girlfriend said when she lost her baby. She goes, you never get used to it.
You never get over it.
You just learn to live with it.
Yeah.
And she enjoys her life and she has 4 other children and she's like, so it's unthinkable for some of us that's never been through that. It's unthinkable. Like how can you do it? But so if somebody wanted to work with you, how would they get in touch with you? Number one.
Okay.
I know you're going to have a website coming up.
Yeah, website's coming soon, which I'm really excited.
And we'll put it in the link below because by the time we put this out, she'll have her website up, I believe.
Thanks.
So, but how would they follow you on Instagram or?
Erica Marie Hurley. So it's my full name.
Okay.
Erica Marie, Marie, Hurley, Hurley. Just my full name on Instagram.
Okay, great.
And then ritualnt@gmail.com if you want to get in touch.
Beautiful.
And you can join my newsletter as well. I do a lot of writing on Substack, and soon my website will be out, and so you can see all the different ways we could work together. And
that's so awesome.
Yeah, it feels like a birthing, you know. It is,
100%. It's an incredible birth.
I'm really excited.
I'm really happy for you. Thank you
for
doing what you're doing, because
Thank you.
This is so important. My gosh. Yeah. And my daughter actually told me about her. And so I think everything is just falling in like Spirit is like wanting all of this to come through. So if you're out there and you need help, get in touch with Erica and know that we see you. We love you. You are important. You are valuable, and you are a part of the sisterhood, no matter what, right?
Right.
Yeah.
No matter what.
No matter what. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining us. And please check out mamaslullaby.com. Check out the beautiful music. There's 2 volumes worth right here on mamaslullaby.com. We're also on every stream platform. But if you want to support this idea of women supporting women and mothering each other and helping each other, then please go to my website, download the music, enjoy it, and follow us and like and subscribe on this podcast so that we can get in front of more moms. And just know that we are so happy that you stopped by, and we'll see you on the next Mama's Lullaby podcast. Bye.
Tears come in waves down your face. Let them fall, let them fall. You're safe with me. The crowds are gone. There's no need to be strong, to be strong. I'll hold this space just for you. There's nothing that you have to do. I know your heart has broken too. You take your time, there are no rules.